This newscast is brought to you by Qberg, Pittsburgh's LGBTQ+ source for news and community information. To learn more about Qberg, check out their website at qberg.com. That's QBURGH.com. From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. Two queer artists of color are calling out a Texas museum for slapping a mature content warning on an exhibition in which their work was included. The exhibit doesn't contain any sexual images, but it does show gay people. Rafa Esparza and Fabian Guerrero's multidisciplinary installation, Querías Norte, is currently on view as part of the Amon Carter Museum of American Art's show, Cowboy. The centerpiece of the work is Esparza's painting Al Tempo, which shows two dark-skinned, fully clothed men in cowboy hats sharing a kiss while dancing together. According to the museum's description, Cowboy, which features works by 28 artists, re-examines the popular mythologies surrounding the image and concept of the cowboy, and explores themes including perceptions of masculinity and gender. According to a November 2023 press release previewing the exhibit, Cowboy aims to disrupt the homogeneous ideal of the cowboy as a white, cisgender American male and showcase the diverse manifestations of this figure across communities. According to articles published in the Fort Worth Reporter in October, shortly after the exhibition opened on September 28th, the museum quietly shut it down with no explanation. When it reopened the following month, guests entering the gallery in which Cowboy is installed were greeted with a sign warning that the exhibition includes mature content and a QR code allowing them to preview the works on their phone. In October, Texas art site Glasstire reported that the Carter had removed a banner image touting the exhibition on its homepage and seemed to have rolled back ads for Cowboy on billboards around Fort Worth. The outlet also reported that the museum appeared to have canceled several family-oriented events and programs around the exhibition. According to Texas Monthly, as of late January, the museum's exterior features no signage advertising Cowboy, which is on view through March 23rd. In other news, the real-world and life-threatening consequences of President Donald Trump's sweeping freeze of U.S. foreign aid are coming into focus as HIV/AIDS treatment programs around the globe are thrown into chaos and shutting down. Last week, Trump began dismantling the semi-autonomous U.S. Agency for International Development, which is the primary source of funding for HIV/AIDS relief for over 25 million people in 54 countries. The aid is distributed annually through PEPFAR, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. While PEPFAR is funded by the State Department, about two-thirds of its grants are implemented through USAID and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Neither organization has released funds to grantees since the freeze was initiated, putting the health of tens of millions of people worldwide, including 500,000 children, into jeopardy. The sudden halt on funding is a system shock, Christine Stegling, Deputy Executive Director at UNAIDS, the United Nations HIV Division, told the New York Times. Last week, Secretary of State Marco Rubio issued a waiver for life-saving medicines and medical services affected by the freeze. But the PEPFAR funds still await release as recipient organizations confront the chaos unleashed at U.S. aid. A large portion of the agency's personnel have been furloughed or fired. PEPFAR recipients have been left without long-term contracts and guidance. On Tuesday, the administration said it's pulling almost all U.S. aid workers off the job and out of the field worldwide. Rubio put the onus on recipient organizations to apply for waivers to restart the funding. If an aid group is receiving funds from the United States and does not know how to apply for a waiver, then I have real questions about the competence of that organization. Or I wonder whether they are deliberately sabotaging it for purposes of making a political point, Rubio told reporters traveling with him in Costa Rica. Recipient organizations can't proceed based on a general memo, according to a senior official at a large global health organization that receives PEPFAR funds. All I'm going to say about PEPFAR and USAID is that they provide life-saving medication for millions of people, including children, worldwide. And yet, President Trump feels it's in his prerogative to stop the funding through an executive order. The trouble is, USAID is funded by the State Department, and the State Department gets its funds approved by Congress. Congress was not consulted on any of this. So as far as I'm concerned, it appears, for now, that Trump has broken the law yet again. Will he get away with it? Stay tuned and find out. For more LGBTQ plus news, be sure to check out the Qberg website. If you haven't already done so, download the Live 365 app. If you are watching this newscast on YouTube, click the subscribe button. We would really appreciate it. That's the news at this hour. Now back to more music on PEP Radio.